In other news, the ANC in the Western Cape says the door is open to former ANC Chair Marius Fransman to discuss his 5-year suspension. Now, the sexual assault case against Fransman was withdrawn today in the Kimberley Magistrate's Court. Fransman was accused of sexual assault by his former personal assistant, Louisa Wynand. Now, Fransman faced 1 count of sexual assault and 2 of criminal injuria. The alleged assault happened in a Kimberley hotel in 2016. Now, that's when Fransman and his entourage were en route to the ANC's January 8th celebrations in the Northwest. Reginald Witbooi was in court for us. A very good evening to you, Reggie. Thanks for your time. So charges of sexual assault and 2 of criminal injuria have been dropped. I mean, there's talk of a settlement, an out-of-court settlement that has been reached. Do we know anything about these details?
Good evening to you, Griselda. Well, this morning, Mr. Fransman appeared briefly in the Kimberley Magistrate's Court. We know that the National Prosecuting Authority said in his last court appearance that they need to brief the National Directorate of Public Prosecution because there are certain aspects of the case that they need clarity on. Today, when we came to court, the court heard that there was an out-of-court settlement agreement. What that out-of-court settlement agreement is, we don't know at this stage. No one is actually, they are keeping mum on this matter. I spoke to Louisa Wynand's publicist, Gavin Prince, and he sent out a statement to me, and if I can just read it out to you, basically saying, on behalf of my client Louisa Wynand, I can confirm that the said matter between herself and Mr. Marius Fransman was before the courts today. However, I'm not in a position to comment on today's proceedings. I humbly ask that the privacy of my client be respected. Thank you. So no one is telling us anything. I tried to get comment from Mr. Marius Fransman himself. That attempt of mine was unsuccessful, but the case itself has now been dropped completely. I got clarity from the National Prosecuting Authority's Paladi Shuping. He told me that because the case has not been provisionally withdrawn, the case is now out of court and Mr. Fransman won't have his day in court with regards to this matter.
All right, so Mr. Fransman was suspended by the African National Congress for a period of 5 years in the wake of these allegations. Do we know if he will ask for the suspension to be lifted? I know that you did speak to the ANC a bit earlier on.
Well, indeed, we spoke to the ANC's ANC interim Western Cape chairperson Lerumo Kalako, and my colleagues in Pretoria did the interview. Speaking to him, he said that the door is open, like we've heard in the package that they just played now. He's saying the door is open and it's at the prerogative of Mr. Fransman to approach the ANC and to ask them whether they can sit and discuss his 5-year suspension. He's saying the door is open and they need to sit around the table. They are not going to force Mr. Fransman, but the door is open, and if there are grounds for him to come back to the ANC and have a position, they will certainly welcome him, and if he didn't do anything wrong, they are going to welcome him back, but it's at his prerogative, not at the parties.
All right, Reginald Witbooi joining us there from the Kimberley Magistrate's Court, of course, following those charges of sexual assault and a criminal injury being dropped against Marius Fransman.